When Elena spotted a trembling puppy with ears far too big for his tiny body, she thought it was fate. Months later, those same ears would make her blood run cold. The car headlights cut through October darkness. Elena Ramirez spotted something moving by the roadside. She slammed her brakes hard, heart racing wildly. A tiny puppy sat shivering alone. His enormous ears stood straight up like satellites. Those ears were impossibly large for his small body.
"Mom, look at his ears!"
gasped her daughter Isabella. The 10-year-old pressed against the car window.
"They're huge, but he's so little."
Elena's husband Marcus leaned forward from the passenger seat. "Maybe he'll grow into them," he chuckled softly. The little creature watched them approach with curious eyes. His dark fur was matted and dirty. But those standing ears tracked every sound perfectly. "He's like a little satellite dish," laughed their 8-year-old son Diego. The puppy's golden eyes reflected their flashlight beam warmly. Elena wrapped him in her jacket gently. He felt like skin and bones underneath. "We can't leave him out here," she decided. "He'll freeze to death tonight." The puppy made no sound during the drive home. He seemed grateful for the warmth and safety. Those massive ears swiveled toward every new sound curiously. They named him Toby that first night. Isabella chose the name while feeding him warm milk. "He looks like a Toby," she declared lovingly. Toby lapped the milk eagerly but kept glancing toward the windows. His ears swiveled toward every outside noise. Within days, Toby had taken over their house completely. He followed Isabella everywhere she went. He slept curled against Diego's feet. The children adored their new puppy instantly. He was gentle and affectionate with them always. Everything seemed perfectly normal at first glance. But as weeks passed, subtle changes began emerging gradually. Marcus noticed it first. Toby never barked like other dogs at all. Instead, he made strange yipping sounds. Sharp, high-pitched calls that echoed weirdly. Those enormous ears made neighbors stop and stare. "What breed is that exactly?" asked Mrs. Lynn next door. "Those ears are absolutely massive." "Must be part German Shepherd," Elena replied uncertainly. But doubt crept into her voice slowly. Toby's ears kept growing even bigger. They seemed too large for any normal dog breed. Marcus researched dog breeds online for hours. "Maybe he's mixed with something exotic," he suggested. "Some rare breed we've never heard of." But every search came up empty. No puppy breeds had ears that enormous. The neighborhood dogs reacted strangely around Toby constantly. They backed away when he approached. They whimpered and hid behind their owners. Even friendly golden retrievers seemed genuinely afraid. Dogs usually love other dogs, Elena worried. Why does everyone avoid him? Toby's eating habits were developing unusual patterns too. He showed less interest in commercial puppy food each day. Instead, he craved fresh meat exclusively. Elena found herself buying more chicken and beef than ever before. He would devour raw meat with intense focus and precision. Before we dive deeper into Toby's mysterious behavior, don't forget to like and subscribe, it really helps the channel grow. Isabella adored Toby more than anything else imaginable. She taught him tricks for hours every day. He learned incredibly fast but never quite right. His responses seemed more instinctual than trained. "He's the smartest dog ever," Isabella declared proudly. But Elena noticed something was different. Toby's sleeping schedule started shifting dramatically after the first month. He began pacing restlessly during nighttime hours. His golden eyes would reflect moonlight as he stared out windows intensely. Elena would find him positioned at different windows throughout the house, as if he was monitoring something outside constantly. The backyard suffered major damage within 3 weeks' time. Toby dug enormous holes everywhere he could. Deep, complex burrow systems underground. Tunnels that seemed almost architectural in design. These excavations seemed purposeful and methodically planned. "He's really focused when he digs," Marcus observed with growing concern. Other neighbors started the whispered conversations gradually. "That animal looks unusual," said Mr. Torres suspiciously. "Those eyes reflect light too brightly. Normal dogs don't glow like that." The grocery store clerk mentioned it too. "Strangest looking puppy I've ever seen, honestly." Toby's vocalizations grew louder and more frequent nightly. His yipping calls carried for blocks around. Neighbors complained about the eerie nighttime sounds. "It's keeping my baby awake," complained Mrs. Rodriguez angrily. "Can't you control your dog better?" Elena scheduled an appointment with Dr. Harrison immediately. Their family veterinarian for 12 long years. Surely he could explain Toby's unusual behaviors. Maybe he's just a very unique mixed breed, she hoped desperately. The veterinary office felt unusually tense that morning. Dr. Harrison examined Toby very carefully and silently. He measured Toby's skull dimensions multiple times. He studied the ear structure intently. His expression grew darker by the minute. "This is highly irregular," Dr. Harrison muttered quietly. "I need to ask some important questions. Where exactly did you find this animal?" His voice carried obvious professional concern now. Elena's hands began trembling slightly. She described that October evening in detail. The lonely road through dense woods. How Toby had been sitting so still. Like he was waiting for something specific. Dr. Harrison took detailed notes throughout her story. "I'm calling Dr. Patricia Voss immediately," he announced grimly. "She specializes in exotic animals and their behavior. This examination requires her expert opinion." Elena's blood turned to absolute ice water. "Exotic animals," she whispered in growing horror. The drive home passed in complete silence. Isabella held Toby protectively in her arms. Diego stared out the window nervously. Marcus gripped the steering wheel tightly. Elena fought back waves of rising panic. That evening brought Toby's most disturbing behavior yet. He paced frantically around the entire house. His yipping became almost constant and urgent. He scratched desperately at doors and windows. Something wild was calling him outside powerfully. Isabella refused to let anyone discuss the appointment. "Toby is perfect exactly as he is," she declared through angry tears. "I don't care what any doctor says." But even she noticed his increasingly restless behavior. His golden eyes seemed more distant daily. Dr. Voss arrived early the next morning. She was a serious woman with weathered hands. Her expression remained professionally neutral throughout. "I need to examine your pet immediately," she stated calmly. But Elena heard underlying urgency. Toby reacted to Dr. Voss completely differently. His massive ears perked up attentively. His whole body became alert and focused. He watched her every movement carefully. Like she spoke his secret language fluently. The examination lasted exactly 30 tense minutes. Dr. Voss measured every feature methodically. She recorded his unique vocalizations carefully. She studied his movement patterns intensely. She photographed his distinctive ear structure. Finally, she requested a private family meeting in their living room. Her voice remained gentle but carried unmistakable seriousness now. "I have important information to share with all of you," she announced carefully. The room fell into nervous silence as everyone gathered together. Isabella's face showed growing anxiety as she clutched Toby protectively. Diego pressed against his father's side for comfort. Marcus and Elena exchanged worried glances while waiting for the professional verdict about their beloved pet's future. "Your pet displays very specific behavioral patterns," Dr. Voss began slowly and deliberately. "His vocalizations are distinctive and purposeful. His physical characteristics are highly significant for species identification purposes." She paused dramatically before delivering the life-changing news. "This animal is not a domestic dog breed," she announced clearly and definitively. "Toby is a juvenile golden jackal. A wild predator species native to forests." The words hit like physical blows. Elena felt the world spinning dangerously. The words hit the room like explosive thunder. Isabella burst into heartbroken, desperate sobs immediately.
No! You're completely wrong about everything.
She screamed through streaming tears.
Toby loves us more than anything. We're his real family. You can't take him away from us.
Marcus asked the question everyone feared most. How dangerous could he become exactly? His voice cracked with parental worry. Could he potentially hurt our children? Other innocent people? Diego pressed against his father protectively, eyes wide with confusion and fear. Jackals are extremely intelligent wild predators, Dr. Voss explained carefully. They hunt in coordinated packs naturally. They communicate through specific territorial calls. As Toby matures, his instincts will strengthen. He could become genuinely dangerous to humans. Elena's mind raced with horrifying possibilities now. What happens if we keep him? She whispered. What could go wrong exactly? The weight of responsibility crushed down. Captive wild animals often turn aggressive unexpectedly, Dr. Voss continued. Especially during mating season approaches. Toby needs his natural pack structure. Keeping him here is cruel and unsafe. Isabella clung to Toby desperately throughout this conversation. He's never hurt anyone ever, she sobbed. He's gentle and sweet and loving. This is his home. Toby seemed to sense the emotional turmoil. He nuzzled against her comfortingly. Diego asked through tears, where will Toby go exactly? Will we ever see him again? Will he remember us fondly? His innocent questions broke everyone's hearts. Dr. Voss smiled for the first time. I work with Wildwood Nature Reserve closely. It's 40,000 acres of protected habitat. Other jackals live there in freedom. Toby will find his true family. The next week passed like a slow-motion nightmare. Isabella refused to leave Toby's side for any reason. She slept beside him every night protectively. She fed him by hand lovingly. She whispered constant promises and apologies through endless tears. Toby seemed to sense the approaching change somehow. His behavior intensified dramatically during this final period. His restlessness increased every single night. He howled mournfully at the moon. His calls seemed to reach distant places. Like he was communicating with something far away. Marcus researched jackal behavior obsessively online. They're highly social pack animals, he read. They form lifelong family bonds naturally. Toby must be incredibly lonely here. His voice carried growing understanding. Elena watched Toby's golden eyes more carefully. She saw longing there now clearly. He wasn't truly happy in their house. Their love wasn't enough for him. Wild instincts called him constantly outward. The morning of departure arrived far too quickly. Dr. Voss brought specialized transport equipment designed for wild animals. Toby entered the carrier willingly without resistance. Like he somehow sensed the journey's importance and necessity. His golden eyes showed complete trust, not fear or confusion. Isabella sobbed throughout the entire drive to Wildwood Reserve.
This feels completely wrong.
She cried desperately.
We saved his life when he was dying. He belongs with us forever.
But even through her tears, she noticed Toby's growing excitement. His ears swiveled toward unfamiliar sounds with obvious interest. Wildwood Reserve was absolutely breathtaking in its natural beauty. Rolling hills covered in golden autumn grass stretched endlessly. Ancient oak trees dotted the landscape majestically. A crystal-clear stream wound through everything peacefully. This looked exactly like where Toby truly belonged naturally. Dr. Voss opened the specialized carrier very carefully. Toby stepped out cautiously at first, testing this new environment. He sniffed the air deeply with obvious pleasure. His enormous ears rotated like sophisticated radar equipment. Every muscle in his body tensed with anticipation and curiosity. Then something absolutely magical happened before their amazed eyes. A distant call echoed across the rolling hills clearly. Another jackal was communicating from somewhere nearby. Toby's head snapped up immediately with intense focus. His tail began wagging with pure, unbridled joy for the first time. He looked back at his human family one final time. His golden eyes seemed to communicate goodbye and gratitude simultaneously. Then he bounded toward the hills with natural grace. His movements were absolutely stunning to witness. He ran like he had always belonged in this wild place. Within minutes, another jackal appeared gracefully from the grassland. A beautiful female with distinctive silver markings on her coat. She and Toby approached each other carefully and respectfully. They touched noses gently in greeting. Two wild souls meeting properly for the first time. Isabella stopped crying and smiled through her tears unexpectedly. "Look how happy he is already," she whispered softly with wonder.
Look how freely he runs now. We really did give him what he needed most.
Her heartbreak was transforming into acceptance and peace. Elena wrapped her arms around her daughter. "We didn't lose a pet today," she said gently. "We helped a wild creature survive. We showed him love and kindness. Now he can live authentically." Toby and his new companion bounded together. They disappeared into the golden grassland. But for one brief moment, Toby turned back toward the family. His call echoed across the distance clearly. It sounded exactly like thank you. Sometimes love means letting go completely. Sometimes saving means releasing with courage. Sometimes the greatest gift is freedom. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It means a lot to me and really helps me continue making these incredible stories for you.